My father did not know we had arrived.
Right.
And from there we went on the Second Avenue, which was a terrific experience for us, coming from a mountain village. We went into East Harlem. East Harlem has been what the boys call now my pad. And that's where I've worked practically all my life.
That's kind of the Italian section of East Harlem.
It was known as Little
Italy then. Was it almost a battle then? Was it a question of having to fight to survive, or maybe there was no unrest?
No. It was always a battle to survive.
Even
from the very beginning.
From the start.
Oh, no doubt about it. Because we had to make money the hard way. I worked delivering rolls and to families 5 blocks away, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then running back home at about 7, get ready for school. We got the magnificent salary of $1.75 a week for 6 days. That's the kind of battle that we had to wage.
What was
survival?
What was meaningful for you about teaching or about the school system? How did you happen to choose that path, Dr. Covello?
Well, I had a choice. I received a Pulitzer Scholarship,
right,
which gave me the privilege of the right to 4 years at Columbia University, in any school. And I could have gone directly to medical school, and 6 months later, taking my state board, I could have had my become a physician. The choice between that and teaching. But I had a passion for books. I used to go to the library at 110th Street, the Aguilar Library, and then simply borrow books, and that made me decide that I wanted to be where books were. I had no idea of teaching, but I did not choose medicine. I went right to Columbia in order to prepare myself for that profession.
Dr. Covello, of course, became a teacher before he became a principal, and I was at the school where Dr. Covello was the principal, Benjamin Franklin High School, and it came to a man who had affection for his students and gave them guidance and gave them attention. He's the man, and one of my most cherished books is this copy of The Heart is the Teacher by Dr. Leonard Covello. Who wrote that book with you, Doctor?
Will D'Agostino.
And this was about what year?
1956 to 58.
And inside the book is my original clipping here. It says, "People are talking about The Heart is the Teacher, a warm and nourishing autobiography by Leonard Covello, a great teacher who spent his life in East Harlem and is now intent on not exposing the difficulty of working with defiant children, just on finding the good in them." And this man, I want you to know, my friends, makes no rounds of talk shows, never has nothing to sell or push. Just a great man. Have you at all ever been back to Benjamin Franklin High School in the last?
Oh, yes, of course. Then I worked for the Migration Division
as a youngster?
Commonwealth of Puerto Rico as a consultant from 56 to 68 after my retirement.
Right.
I worked with the Puerto Ricans in order to see if we could not help them overcome the tremendous difficulties when they arrive in a very difficult place like New York City.
Yes.
People. We had the same experience, and I felt it was my duty, my obligation, my pleasure also to be of help to them. And we put them through and helped them realize some of the things that we were not able to realize because we did not have anyone to help us, except some of the teachers intervened and gave us the direction which we took later on by going to college.
You know, when I was in your classes, Dr. Covello, we still heard phrases like blackboard jungles or incorrigible delinquents, but in the classroom was absolute peace and quiet. Something went wrong after that. But in those days, I was in there with the roughest kids in New York, but it was absolutely beautiful and quiet.
I wonder if they were really that rough.
Continue.
It appeared that way.
Yes.
But inside, you could reach them, you know how.
Right.
If you had the patience and the time, and gave it the time. I used to quote that Bible verse, which you're all familiar with. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. I used to ask the boys to define what that meant. And then they realized that there was no need you could solve difficulties between you and your neighbors, your friends in school if you had that attitude. And that's what we practiced, that theme and that kind of thinking and action on the part of our boys.
So what's lacking?
You succeeded.
Well, you succeeded because you knew how, but what's missing today? Where has education failed today? Why do kids get out of school and they can't read, they can't spell, they can't do research, they can't know how to use a library, they can't, there's so many dropouts? Why? What went astray, Dr. Covello?
Well, because we are in a world where I know that these great wars. I was in the First World War.
I know.
I went across, and then my experiences made me a pacifist, definitely, because I saw that war was no solution. Then we had the Second World War. In an age of violence, world violence, that has an effect naturally on all our social institutions, and of course it affects the younger ones, who themselves feel that the time may come for them also to face the same situation, and they cannot. I feel that the younger generation now feels that is not the way to solve problems. And that's my experience with many young people.
So it's the fault of the world.
The world and the adults who created this world.
But not a lack of parental discipline. I see somebody on there, they say the parents should be harsher. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Anytime you use strong-arm methods,
yes,
the reaction is the contrary from what you expect it to be.
Right.
Yes, you generate fear, it's true.
Yes.
But fear does not solve the problem. The way to do it is to use what we call the soft approach, the approach that we know they will understand by calling them to one side and talking to them very slowly and making them see. And they are sensitive enough, they understand these things. But we adults probably are too much occupied with our own busy lives, trying to make a living, trying to climb. And that has been the failure of that now we ascribe to the youth, and at the same time I think we are the guilty ones. It's the older generation that creates the world for the younger generation.
One of the great and dedicated teachers and principals of all time. I'm chatting with Dr. Leonard Covello and the number of useful and productive citizens that you have turned out through the years. You couldn't begin to, estimate how many roughly you couldn't start, right?
It's just impossible.
But I would hope...
I kept the recitation cards of my boys in Dewey Clinton High School where I was there as a teacher, and first had a department, and then later on I went to Franklin.
Right.
I had 15 boxes filled with names of recitation, where we used to mark the recitation period.
Right.
That was the extent. I don't know how many.
But there's got to be a couple.
By the thousand.
Got to be a couple thousand watching now, Dr. Covello.
I hope so.
Love you.
Because I want to send them my greetings, far away as I am. I always feel, and I came back here for another visit, and I feel at home in both countries now.
Could I pull a few names out of the air and get a few flash reactions of any names? Fiorello H. LaGuardia, just what he might have meant in your young life.
Well, he meant this, that we were able through him to get the new building established on East River Drive.
Right.
But our boys got the building on East River Drive.
Yes.
He wanted to do a slum clearing job in the community.
Right.
I said, no, we live in that community. We want the most beautiful spot. And when we dedicated the school, he turned to me and he said, you see, Covello wanted a high school. It had to be on the Riviera.
Yes.
I said, no, you're mistake. On the East Riviera. That's where the school is now.
Beautiful school.
A very beautiful building. We got to under the wire before the war came along.
I remember the day when you and Mr. LaGuardia swung the axe and broke the ground. Remember that?
That's right.
How about Al Smith? Did you know Al Smith?
No.
Did you know FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt?
No.
How about Jimmy Walker?
Well, slightly. But
Slightly.
The one I knew was Fiorello,
Right.
LaGuardia, and Vito Marcantonio,
Yes.
the congressman who did a tremendous job for not only for his town but for us all in his congressional career of 14 years.
I think Mr. Marcantonio was the only congressman out of hundreds or 400 or 600 who didn't vote for us to go into the war.
He was the only one to stand up and say no to the war.
Right.
No doubt about that. And this book, I wrote my conscience, is an extraordinary document. And he didn't write it. It was his speeches, his statements, his whole life as a congressman, devoted to many causes for the underprivileged, for the rejected people, may I put it that way, in our own country and beyond our own country also, where Puerto Rico was concerned. He went down to Puerto Rico to fight the battles for the Puerto Ricans.
I've got a couple people I'd love you to meet, Doctor. Would you stay with me? I
Yes,
could
I'll
just
be
do hours on Dr. Covello. He was the first man to organize storefront schools where adults could become educated as well as their kids, right?
Yeah, sure.
You are a fantastic man and the most inspired educator I've ever met. Let me do a couple of announcements, and I want you to meet the young people from Brooklyn.
Be glad to meet you.
You'll get a kick out of this. My guest is Dr. Leonard Covello. We're just about getting warmed up. Our recommendations always go something like this. Let's watch, please. The teacher, I've got some humanity now. Dr. Covello, I would like to introduce from the exact name of the church.
Guardian Angel Church in Brooklyn, Joe.
Guardian Angel Church in Brooklyn. This very distinguished gentleman, Reverend Thomas Kelly. Dr. Covello, Reverend Kelly.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Good meeting you, Joe.
Good.
He was my principal.
He was, Joe?
Do you think I'm allowed to ask Dr. Covello how old he is? Would I?
I think it'd be hard to ask him.
May we ask?
Well, I had an experience. I was speaking in Fort Lee.
Yes.
Somebody said, he was my teacher. He's 88 years old. I said, just a minute. 88 years young, I said.
Beautiful.
And he's carrying them very well, Joe.
What a mind, huh?
Right.
Great man.
Hope we're as active and as sharp at 88 years of age.
You will be.
Thank you, Doctor.
Any minute now.
I guarantee you that.
If I keep associating with the young like this.
That's right. That's the secret.
May we ask how developed? Of course, it starts off here in the news. We've got talent scouts who read all these papers. This is about a charming 10-year-old Jewish girl, Tammy Leibowitz, and a silver-haired Catholic priest, the Reverend Thomas Kelly. It's a Christmas story set in Brooklyn. May we ask briefly, Father, how the story began?